Matt from Nerd Knights Painting doing a spoiler for Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion Box C. If you have not opened this and you're playing the game or you don't want to know what it is, please just shut the video off right now. Don't look at this. This is a complete spoiler. I don't want to spoil the game for you because this is an amazing game. Please just turn it off right now and come back when you get it. Alright, I warned you. But we're going to be painting this, which is really not much of anything. It's a little flame thing. If you're playing the game and you know what this is, it's a poison ward. So we're going to be painting this. If this is your first time at the channel, please subscribe and so you can see the other future videos. And I have other Gloomhaven videos on my channel that you can check out. But please subscribe so you can check all the other Gloomhaven and Frosthaven when it comes out. So without further ado, let's go. The first color we're going to be doing is Warpstone Glow. Since this is a poison ward, we're going to be doing a greenish flame with some highlights at the top. So Warpstone Glow, first color. Let the first coat dry. It's going to take you about 2 to 3 coats. Now I primed it in black, so it's probably going to be insignificant with the Abaddon black that I'm going to put on there, but I'm going to put it on there anyway because it gives it a little bit darker tone to it for the rest of the shaft. For the spikes, I'm going to use Lead Belcher. If you want to turn these into teeth, you can, but I feel like it was more of a metallic looking, spiky Castlevania, which is a great anime, by the way, on the side. So I'm using Lead Belcher on these. For the cracks, I'm going to do like a lava effect, and I'm using Corn Red. Now, when you do the lava effect, you want this to be watered down more than normal. So either if you're using a well or a wet palette, make sure it's fairly watered down. For the edge highlighting, we're going to use Storm Vermin Fur for the edge highlighting, and just use the edge of your brush and hit the edges that we can see going up the miniature. So anything that's got an edge, just go ahead and hit it at an angle and do a nice little edge highlighting. And don't forget the top part on here. To wash the green, we're just going to use a little Corellia green shade from Citadel. And for the rest of the shaft, we're going to be using a little Nuln Oil. We're going to start with highlighting again, and we're going to use Warpstone Glow. Leave that shade in the recesses and just hit the tops of the flame and just keep those recesses dark. We're going to do a 50-50 mix of Warpstone Glow and Moot Green, and we're going to continue with the flames and do not go into the recesses. And every time we're going to be doing an extra color, we're going to be doing less and less of what we did before. So hit the tops of it, and we're going to do a vast majority of this flame. So if it was 100% of the flame we painted with the Warpstone Glow, we're going to do about 75% now with this color. We're going to be using some pure moot green now, and if we did 75% on the last flame, we're going to be doing 50% now, and we're just building up our highlights on the flame to make it look a little bit more bright at the top. Again, if this is your first time at the channel and you're watching this and going along, please subscribe. Pause the video and subscribe, hit that like button and hit that little bell button. And we're just going around the flame and we're just picking out little pieces and we're letting that build up. If you're going to do more than one coat, let it dry completely and do the extra coat after it's dry. Now we're going to do a little 50-50 mix of moot green and Corax white, or a regular white, whatever you have. And we are doing about 25% of the flame now, and we're building up the highlight to the what would be the hottest point, which would technically be at the bottom, but we're making it at the top to make it a little weird looking. And we are building up those highlights at the top of the flame, and it's going to be obviously a whitish green, and it gives you just a little bit more subtlety to the contrast. Go ahead and add a little bit more white to your moot green and white mixture, and you're just going to do about 10% now of that flame, and you're just working at the tips of each flame. Maybe do 2 coats depending on how bright you want it. Using some pure white, or Corax white is what I used. We're just going to be hitting the very tips of each flame, and in this scenario, less is almost more. To highlight the metal spikes, we're just going to be using Ruin Fang steel. The most tedious part of this miniature, we're going to be just highlighting the original edge highlighting we did with some Dawnstone. And just take your time, get a nice 3-point stance, both elbows on the table, and curl your shoulders in a little bit so you get a nice base, and you're just going to just slowly scrape on the edges of the miniature. You don't want a lot of paint on your brush while you're doing this. You want almost all of it off, and you're just going to scrape the edges and give it a nice edge highlight, and that's just going to make it come out just a little bit more when you're looking at the miniature. Since we already have our corn red in there, we didn't put any highlights or anything or any washes. We're going to start with Evil Sun Scarlet. Now again, you need to water this down more than normal. It's almost like a watery wash. And what you're going to do is you're going to put that into the cracks, and that is going to it's going to flow in there because it's a crack and it's at the bottom of the miniature. And let it dry completely, and then we'll do the next highlights as a series of highlights. Next color we're going to be using is Wild Rider Red, and you are going to be doing the same thing. And each time we're going to do this, you want less and less of the paint, how we kind of did it with the flame, and you just want to build up subtle highlights, and when it dries you can see the transparency between the colors. Same thing with Troll Slayer Orange, and we're just adding it to portions of the cracks, not the whole thing, just portions of it, and you're going to start seeing color difference between the reds and the oranges that we're going to build up with a final highlight of your yellow here in a second. Last bright highlight for orange is going to be Fire Dragon Bright, and again we're just using this in certain places in the cracks, building up the contrast between the colors. And finally, we're just going to pick out a couple little spots in the cracks of the lava, and we're going to be using Uriel Yellow. If you went over onto the black and you want to keep it there, you can. If not, just go back with some Abaddon Black and hit those edges of the cracks on the black portions. And as you add those other little pieces of yellow in there, you can see that this actually looks like lava. Its color is different throughout the cracks and it looks just like lava. And there you have it, the poison ward that wasn't very hard to paint, but just give you an idea if this is how you want to paint it. So I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every view that comes on this channel and every subscriber I have. It means a lot to me, and it drives me to make more videos. The more subscribers I get and the more people that watch the videos and comment, and it's really awesome. So I appreciate everybody who watches this video. I hope to see you on the next one, and thank you for watching. Paint on.